We are Geekcentric, and you can be too. Love ya. Get home safe, guys. Peace. Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast. My name is Nate, and in this episode, we get spooky as we celebrate Halloween and talk about our favorite horror movies, Halloween candy, and how Game of Thrones manages to still disappoint. And of course, pirates. But first, if you're joining us for the first time, this is a weekly show covering the world of film, television, gaming, toys and collectibles, and all things geek-centric. Joining me on the show yet again, we have the jump scare, J-Law.
Good evening, geeks.
Jeez. And to his right, we have Kevin, the Bagman Hudson.
The Bagman. Woo! Getting spooky with it, geeks. Getting spooky with it.
Happy Halloween, you guys.
Happy Halloween. It's actually not Halloween.
Well, if
We're
you're
recording
listening...
Okay, when you're listening to this, it should be Halloween, hopefully.
For sure. It
Yeah,
should
and
be
so
Halloween.
I'm going to be excited in a week when I get to start putting up my Christmas decorations.
You're more of a Christmas fan.
Oh, 100%.
Not a fan of the spookiness.
Nope.
All right, cool beans. Well, listen, let's move right into watching, because we got a jam-packed, full episode. You know, more jam-packed than
a pillowcase full of candy.
There you go. I love it.
Wow, that was perfect.
Do you guys use a pillowcase when you were a kid?
I was a pillowcase kind of guy because I'd go out for about 4 hours and get as much as I could.
Would you do the thing where your parents in the van... Wait, did your parents follow you in a van, or is that an only child thing?
That's an only child thing, man.
That's an only child thing. I'm pretty sure your parents still follow you around in a van.
Wait, they're right there. No, yeah. But my parents would follow me around in a van, and then we would take the full bag and then dump it into an additional bag and then go again. So you were a multi-bag man.
Well, no, but by the fifth or sixth year in my neighborhood, we'd figured out the perfect route where we could go around, get a number of houses, drop it off at the house, and then, it would be going in like extending concentric circles where, we would just go around and around and yeah.
Very
and once
nice.
you hit that rich neighborhood where they're giving out full chocolate bars, man, those pillowcases get pretty heavy pretty quickly.
Full chocolate bars. Oh my goodness.
That's what I do now.
I think the pillowcase was kind of like a quintessential thing for the Halloween experience. I would always remember going to the closet and like thinking, what is the biggest pillowcase that we have? And just make it my mission to try to fill
Well, and
that.
Those silly little orange plastic pumpkins. What do you
Doing
get?
nothing.
That's 4
No.
houses and you're full. So
No, that was like a very newbie thing to do. All the little kids had those. Not us.
Oh, no.
Not the cool kids.
No, there's a house actually just down the street from us that is really into this Halloween. Like, I can't wait to actually see when all the lights are on and everything. I'm actually going to walk down the street and check it out because they have like a pirate ship. They have
Really?
like a graveyard and like a big thing. Kevin's place is pretty crazy too.
Well,
but
Kevin, you do that every year,
I'll
right?
I'll get into that on my Whatcha.
Ooh, okay, all right. Well, let's actually get right into it then. Kevin, whatcha?
Well, yeah. So I've been getting ready for Halloween again. I don't love it per se, but it's Sarah's favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
That's why last year I proposed to her on a Halloween cruise.
Aww.
Yes.
What were you dressed as again?
We were Mitch and Cam from Modern Family. So
everyone guess who Kevin was.
you only get one guess. So I got down on a knee and asked her to marry me while she had a beard on. And I think only Sarah would be cool with being proposed to and saying yes with a beard.
I don't know anyone else who would.
Some might say she was my beard, if you know what I mean. But
I think, though, that she probably thought it was incredibly cool for her to be dressed as a man and you to still propose to her. For that reason alone, I would say yes.
yeah, so she just stopped shaving after that. Now the beard's real.
Amazing.
We go all out on Halloween.
Yeah.
We've got the
Pumpkin
big pumpkin carving is Halloween day. That's how we spend our day. We'll watch Treehouse of Horror
Very
and
cool.
carve pumpkins. So I think we're doing 4 each this year. We have an annual pumpkin contest that I put up on Facebook and have all the friends and family vote on.
Very
and we
cool.
are tied 1-1 right now.
Oh, okay.
She won
I gotta
last
check it
year.
out.
She won last year, so I'm going to regain my crown, if you will.
All right.
It's going to be an interesting day. But yeah, and then we go all out and we have the big animatronics from Spirit Halloween and so we get little kids crying up to the front door, and then it's like, here's a giant chocolate bar. Okay, settle down,
Yeah.
So
and then they
it's
see
fun.
you, and then they cry again.
Well, but we're going to be dressed as Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope, so
Okay.
that'll hopefully calm them down when we get there. Yeah, so yeah,
Very
but we
cool.
do have a lot of fun. So I've been getting ready for that. And Silicon Valley just returned.
Ah, yes.
Final season. So, I mean, I don't think the show's been quite the same since Ehrlich
Yeah.
left. That's a big hole in the show, but there's still enough to carry it through.
His energy is really missing from the...
Oh man, he was definitely my favorite. Although, who is it? Not Gabe from The Office plays.
Jared.
Oh my goodness,
Yes,
he is definitely the star of that show in my opinion.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
I can't wait. You can in the. Have you caught up to the last the first episode?
The first
that
episode,
launched?
you can see where his season and arc is going to go this year. I think he'll have a lot of fun with that.
I love seeing him become unraveled, where he just says those lines where you're just like, Jared, what? Like, it's so good, and usually in defense of Richard, defending him doing something.
Oh yeah,
or
he's but I think he's going to go in a bit of a different direction and have somebody new come under his wing. And it should be quite a sweet little story, I think. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
I had no idea that they returned. I just saw the trailer, but I thought that was going to happen later. So the first episode's up?
First was on Sunday. Yeah,
awesome.
Check
I'm
it
gonna
out.
crave that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I've been craving it for a year.
Well, I caught up on it. Because I was behind, and it was funny because I was watching. I would jump into a season like season 3 midway, and like, okay, let's see where I'm like, oh, I know all this, and then I would go to season 4, and it's been forever since I've watched it. But I actually only was missing like 3 episodes of season 5. So I must have been. I was watching it weekly when it was kind of coming out, and I had access to HBO. So now catching up on it, it actually is pretty incredible how much it actually sticks in my mind, which I can't say about most shows, especially comedies.
Yes, yeah, they're often forgettable, but this has had such a concise and growing storyline and arc all the way through that it's been easy to follow along with their journey.
Very cool, Justin. Whatcha?
Well, I haven't really been doing much. Just been really editing. Like a lot of editing. So we got the Halloween video that's going to drop. So we've been just kind of working on that, like focusing on it.
Yeah.
So that, and then also these lovely podcasts, which have been so much fun to kind of put together, and they've been very enjoyable. It's a new experience of editing audio and focusing on like just that aspect rather than also visual with auditory elements as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun. I'm excited to get this Halloween video out though. It looks like it's coming together.
It could be pretty fun, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
I just got I went over and we just recorded some voiceovers for it, so that was actually it was cool.
And we were
it was
totally
fun to do.
shocked that out of nowhere our one from last year, Nightmare Before Christmas, is at like a whopping 69,000, like close to 70. It's like we looked at each other like, when did that happen?
People are trying to search for that stuff, right?
Yeah, that's it. Tis the season.
Tis
Tis the season. Got to play that game. Nate, what you been up to?
I finally saw Ad Astra in theaters.
I've been dying to see that one.
Hey, don't go to see it at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I could have told you that as well. I could have told you that as well.
So let me defend myself a little bit here. So I listened to a podcast. Shout out to the Movie Podcast. Great guys. And I think at some point, I just remember them talking about they made up portions of the plot of this movie as like a joke, but somewhere in my brain, wires got crossed, and I thought that was the actual description for the movie. So I'm going into this movie, not watching a trailer, and going off the description that this movie is about an advertiser in space. Like Brad Pitt plays like this, like almost like a Mad Men-esque type character, but working in advertising in space. And so I go in and I'm literally like, so when are they going to get to the advertisement part? And I'm seeing I see a glimmer of hope as I see like a subway, on the moon. And I was like, oh, and it's like, no, that's not at all what this movie's about at all.
You got duped.
I certainly did.
Or duped or tricked or something.
It's listen, it's one of those movies that I think I think Justin and I was saying to you, I respect it more than I enjoyed it. It's really slow. It's really one note.
It's one of those movies. How long was it?
I felt like 4 hours. I don't know.
Wow.
But keep in mind, a big part of it, I might need to see it again to really judge it. I gave it 3 out of 5, but I could see people giving it 4, just because again the performances, like Brad does such a good job at in his role.
Yeah, and I've heard that the cinematography is really good.
Yes.
and the,
very, very Blade Runner-esque.
Yeah, the color schemes and the tones and stuff. So I definitely want to see it for those reasons. But I already know, looking at it in the trailer, it's like this is going to be one of those like slow burn space movies
don't watch it.
where time just feels like it's infinite.
Yes.
And it just like,
there's a really, really great action moment that I'm not going to spoil, but that was probably the only time where I actually woke up.
Yeah. I think it's actually kind of interesting too, because like in terms of space movies, you see a lot of these space movies that are trying to like do more artsy space movies, kind of like Gravity and Interstellar, right? Interstellar did its own real thing. That was also very long, like a very long movie, because there was a lot of explanation that needed to go to it. Yeah. So with Ad Strata like coming out, it's kind of like playing into those notes of like kind of like art house space.
Yeah. I also am watching The Watchmen. Episode 2 is out. I haven't seen that one yet. I meant to watch it today.
Apparently that one's crazy. I have not caught up on that yet. Okay. I'll probably talk about that next week and watch it.
Maybe we can both knock it out.
I watched the first episode as well. So
I thought it looked like the first episode. Watching it, I just sort of felt like I don't know if it was I didn't understand it so much as it was confusing. I mean, I
think that's the point that I had too, is that it felt confusing because you're very just placed into it.
Well, it's interesting because Damon Lindelof was talking in interviews, and he was kind of saying how, and Damon Lindelof, by the way, Lost. I mean, come on. Kevin's rolling his eyes.
He says this every week.
I know, but like my only thing is that Damon Lindelof he's already said that he's not going to be continuing with Watchmen.
Yeah, well, I don't know. In interviews, he seems pretty stoked about it because he was talking about people when they read the original Watchmen comic book, the way they felt reading it and thinking, "Wow, this is this could be happening to us," like in terms of like nuclear bombs and things like that in the U.S. So now, for now times, he's trying to figure out, well, what is something that is freaky now and scary now that's happening now that people can watch this and go, oh my gosh, this is actually happening.
I get that. He's drawing on the new terror.
Yeah.
Right? The new terror, because back then when Watchmen was, a comic book, it kind of played on the Cold War stuff, right? So
we're definitely gonna have to watch the second episode and see what that's all about.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to catching up on it.
Let's go ahead and move into the news. It's all about the details. Our first story from Sam Byford over at The Verge. Game of Thrones showrunners quit Star Wars trilogy to work on Netflix projects. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss were quoted in saying, "There are only so many hours in the day, and we felt we could not do justice to both Star Wars and our Netflix projects." This over Star Wars? Like, does that...
These guys are clowns.
Right?
These guys are clowns.
Like, what are you doing?
They rushed the end of Game of Thrones so they could get to Star Wars, and now they chicken out. They couldn't handle the pressure, and they're out of here, is what it kind of feels like.
Do you think that's it?
You're telling me Netflix projects are more important than a Star Wars trilogy?
Star Wars,
the trilogy that made them, apparently. They've been quoted to say, like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
If you're not in this to win this, get out of here.
Yeah, I think it's odd that... I think what happened there is that they had agreed to the Netflix deal prior to the Star Wars deal, and I think they were deeper into the Netflix thing than they were into the Star Wars, so they were able to pull out of that, in my opinion. Because a $200 million deal, like you can't... The fact that they took Star Wars plus that, like it's kind of absurd to think that you could take all of that on.
I mean, it's a little foolish if Kennedy and any other Disney folks knew that they also had these other projects. Like, what's the real story here? Like, how would you allow these guys to sign on to do these Star Wars movies if they were already busy? And how are they able to get out of the Star Wars deal but not the Netflix deal? Like, you'd think Disney would have a little bit more pull in that regard.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
but I think that's where the deeper into production, like it's already moved into pre-production. Whereas
I don't care if you have an 8-part movie series on Netflix. It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
You get to do your own. Now all they need to do is get rid of Rian Johnson's trilogy and start fresh, and we're rolling, baby.
I still want to see Broom Boy, the trilogy. But it's funny. Kathleen Kennedy said in a tweet, "We hope to include them in the journey forward when they are able to step away from their busy schedule to focus on Star Wars." Now, hang on. Read that slightly differently, and the internet is going crazy over this. "We hope to include them in our journey forward when they're able to step away from their busy schedule to focus on Star Wars." Right? Like, that's just how the internet is reading that tweet from her, and it's absolutely...
It's very passive. It's very passive, and it's like, we're moving on.
Yeah.
But, I also think attached to that was like, based on that tweet, who really pulled out of this deal? Was it them? Or was it Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm?
That gave them the boot, and now they're trying to like save face and
Well,
make them.
maybe-
no,
maybe
they're
they
busy.
told them
That's
to.
why they, you know.
Yeah, maybe they told them.
Here's
to do
my
that.
thing: why do you already have dates announced for when these movies are coming out if you haven't even started production because you don't necessarily have a script or a story or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Like they're already promoting a movie for 2022.
Right.
And we're almost into 2020 now.
Right.
And you're able to, like, you're at these stages of production where you're getting people backing out and stuff like that. Like, haven't you learned yet, Kathleen?
Yeah.
Kennedy?
Do we think that they're no longer making this trilogy at
They're
all?
not. No.
Okay.
I think what's going to end up happening, you know, it goes without saying, Lucasfilm under Kathleen Kennedy. I don't think it's Kathleen Kennedy. I just think that it's Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that they're trying to move very fast with this to really capitalize on it, and they're not really giving it enough, you know, focus. They had the issue with Josh Trank, but that was more about him, not about them. They didn't want to work with him after what they heard about Fantastic Four. And then with Ron Howard replacing Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
It's one of the two.
It was one of them, Phil and Chris.
Yeah.
But replacing those two because they couldn't handle the production.
Well, and wasn't
Rogue One was with Gareth Edwards, right? With Tony Gilroy came in and had to like save that movie. Yeah. So there's a history.
And then who did
here.
they have originally writing Force Awakens or Episode 7? Wasn't it the gentleman who did
Mike,
Toy Story? Arndt,
yeah,
right?
Mike Arndt.
And then Episode 9 was supposed to be Trevorrow, wasn't it? Colin
No,
Trevorrow.
he was doing 8.
Oh,
and then they replaced him with
Ryan Johnson.
like this.
No. Trevorrow was supposed to do 9, and
9,
they replaced him. They replaced him with JJ.
With JJ,
Right.
like this is absolute insanity.
Well, so
can we pull Feige out of Marvel and get him over to Star Wars?
But see, that
they
I don't-
need a
I don't think
Feige
it's-
for this universe.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't think it's. Again, I don't think it's. Maybe it is Kathleen. Maybe she's rushing it. I don't want to discredit her. I think it's great that she has the gusto to kind of want to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's great.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Like, so did the finale for Game of Thrones, or at least the last few episodes of Game of Thrones, happen prior to the announcement that they were going to be doing Star Wars?
No, they announced it before the last 2 or 3 episodes, I believe.
So do you think that fan backlash that we've already seen with Episode 8, and then the fan backlash for Game of Thrones, maybe that was something in the pot?
There was something that came out yesterday.
Yeah.
An article about these two at an event, and I don't know what the event was, but I was reading the highlights of it and how they basically just got lucky with Game of Thrones. They didn't really plan for it to be the success that it was. They weren't as invested at the beginning with it. They just kind of got
And then
lucky.
they ran out of source material,
Right.
and didn't have the know-how or the brain power to actually finish it correctly.
Yeah.
They didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, they didn't. And it shows towards the end there that it fell apart. And I think those comments, after I read those comments of what they were saying and how fans were just like, you're literally saying to all people that love Game of Thrones, yeah, it was just, it is what it is. We just got lucky.
It was pure luck.
And then now, after I read that, I was thinking, they're going to drop out of Star Wars. And today it was announced that they dropped out. So I don't know if, to Nate's point, if they're in any way correlated in that, like, they're kind of a big sham.
Yeah.
They kind of opened up in that comments and said, like, we're a sham.
Yeah. Well, let's move into the next story here from James White over at Empire Online, who writes, Sam Raimi is directing a new horror film. Sony's Columbia arm has him ready to direct an untitled horror movie written by Friday the 13th, 2009 reboot duo Mark Swift and Damian Shannon.
Ooh, there's a powerful credit.
Not much is known about the movie yet, but apparently the description reads as Misery meets Castaway. So are we excited for Sam Raimi to be directing a horror movie again?
I think that's really interesting because Castaway is a very isolated, lone story.
So I guess this is Castaway where Wilson is a real person, you know?
Maybe.
Sort of, you know,
maybe.
like
That would be kind of cool. Because the whole Misery aspect, right? Like of him being saved by his fan or whatever. It was an author. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, he's an author. He gets in a car accident. His
Yeah.
biggest fan rescues him and is treating him back to health only to make sure he can never leave her care, essentially.
That's
through,
pretty cool.
Through pretty, tormenting ways. So
On an
imagine
island.
this
Yeah.
on an island, essentially, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. Well, I mean, definitely. It was kinda
When you said Sam Raimi in horror, I thought you were going to say he's doing Spider-Man 4. Just 3 hours of Toby dancing.
Oh my God, that is so good. That's where Sam Raimi started. Like Nate was saying, he's not too familiar. But have you seen Evil Dead, like the old school with Bruce Campbell?
No.
Okay, so like that's
Neither
definitely a
have I.
movie that you've never seen it.
No.
Yeah.
It's great, and
Okay.
it's almost like a fun
I
horror
don't
movie.
feel as bad now.
No, yeah, exactly.
As long as there's no talking goats, I think we're going to be
No,
okay
but
here.
it's a
So that's what dragged me to hell.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's where he started, and he's kind of established. And I think he was involved with the reboot of Evil Dead. He produced it in some
I'm
capacity.
sure he consulted in
Yeah,
some
for sure.
way.
But it totally took it in a new direction. So I like the idea that he's going to kind of go back to his origins, if you will,
Yeah.
and not try to do a Spider-Man 4, as Kevin suggested, with Toby dancing. My God.
Does Sam Raimi do more? Is he known for more fun, like content? Like again,
Yeah, but
when I think of Spider-Man dancing,
Yeah, no, I know, but think of like Evil Dead as like it's there's comedic aspects to it,
Yeah.
but it's definitely well rooted in horror.
cool. All right.
I mean, his last big movie was Oz the Great and Powerful
oh,
with who's that with?
oh gosh,
James Franco.
James Franco. Oh no.
yeah. I mean, that movie wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't very
No,
good.
but I think it also
so
like
bad.
the idea too is these are big studio movies that he's done that we do know him for, like
Yeah.
the Spider-Man trilogy and this, and I think a couple other ones. But
Given that this is coming from Sony and from Columbia, like I've got higher hopes for it than Oz the Great and Powerful. Well, hopefully on this island he ends up seeing some pirates. Speaking of pirates, this next story from James White at Empire, Chernobyl's Craig Mazin is aboard the Pirates of the Caribbean reboot. He'll be working alongside franchise veteran Ted Elliott, who originally wrote the first 4 films, including, the first one, the best one, right? And they're going to be crafting a fresh story. So guys, what do you think about bringing on Chernobyl writer Craig Mazin for this Pirates reboot?
Well, first of all, the only reason that any of the Pirates movies worked, specifically the first one leading to the franchise, is Johnny Depp
Right.
as Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
So who are you going to get to be this iconic role that, can really it can't be duplicated. Like, this has disaster and failure written all over it, I think.
Right.
I mean, people get up in arms about reboots, and
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. If you're going to reboot a TV show or a movie from the 80s, it's fine. It's been 30 years. Let's
Right.
get a fresh spin on it. Things like 21 Jump Street, for instance, work, and when done well, they can work. This thing just had the Pirates franchise had a movie like 3 years ago, and
In
you're
hopes.
already rebooting it. Like,
No, but in
that's where I get
yeah,
upset.
in hopes to capitalize on whatever audience is left, and then they didn't do so well. They're like, oh, we'll just reboot it.
Well,
That's usually the mentality, though.
But that movie I thought was a soft reboot of Pirates. Like I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be,
I mean, it was still Jack, but
Sure.
then you replace the Orlando Blooming Onions character, and the
Right.
I don't know. I didn't mind that one as much as the 4th entry was really
Oh, I
bad.
fell asleep
yeah,
during it.
yeah. He's a writer on Chernobyl, correct, Nate?
Yeah.
Yep. So including a writer from the Chernobyl series, I don't know if that's going to translate into the same tone.
That doesn't mix tonally with me.
But I think that we think that because they're referencing, like the article references Chernobyl, he's obviously not going to write it so that it's more real and gritty, right?
He's
Like,
also done 3 Hangover movies, right? So
Okay.
imagine bringing some of that comedy element into it.
Okay. So he's,
sure,
a
so then-
diverse body of work. to
So
say
yeah,
the least.
that's that to say the least. My goodness.
As
But
well as the new Charlie's Angels.
he
which-
wrote that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I know.
like
It's like
Chernobyl's
hit
the
or miss
only.
here.
This is a
so-
spotty
hold on.
resume, man.
Yeah, Chernobyl's the only thing that I would say is respectable. But I think
Yeah.
then that didn't rely too much on the writing as much as it did the execution.
Right, and the content, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I mean,
I'm interested. Like
But they
the
can't-
Pirates is good. I like Pirates. I think to Kevin's point, though, Johnny
It's Johnny
Depp carried that. So you do need to find someone to anchor these movies if you
Yeah.
are going to be creating a reboot.
but it's just going to be constantly compared. Well, that's not Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
So I don't want to watch it.
And I think I heard somewhere that the writers of Deadpool were originally linked to this project.
Yeah, so originally, and then they exited the project early this year.
I could see taking it in a different comedic tone that way, making it work.
Right.
This just seems strange. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, speaking of something, well, I guess we won't see, this last story from Laura Hurley over at Cinema Blend, HBO's Game of Thrones prequel spin-off officially canceled after troubled pilot. Executives at HBO apparently screened the pilot, which had been fully filmed over the summer, and TV Line states that they weren't happy with the finished project. They sent the showrunner Jane Goldman back to fix some issues. And apparently it just didn't pan out.
So that's interesting because the original Game of Thrones, the pilot was riddled with errors. They recast and they reshot stuff and they re-tinkered scripts, and look at what happened with it. So I'm surprised that they gave up on this one so quickly.
Yeah. I in that article that I was referencing before, where they were giving highlights in this conference, they did mention how the first season and even the first episode, they learned a lot. I did appreciate the honesty that went into some of their comments about it, but obviously where it went and how honest they were didn't really pan out for them.
I got to be honest, the cast of that sounded so boring.
It's interesting. Like
it
Naomi
was
Watts
doing
was in
nothing.
it.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
Just put the Z's in a speech bubble above my head now. Like boring.
Well, it's unfortunate though, because I think there is still more to tell in that world. But
that's why the new news just came out from Game of Thrones on Facebook. At least I see it from the official Game of Thrones Facebook page. Is that they are now going ahead with Fire and Blood.
The Targaryen series.
The Targaryen series.
Okay.
I've only listened to about 10 to 12 hours of the audiobook, but it is wicked.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they're going to tell this story that takes place over hundreds of years with generations of Targaryens. I don't know if they focus on one person's 20-year story or whatever, but the story of how the Targaryens take over Westeros has been really, really entertaining in the audiobook and book format. So
this would be almost like a prequel a la Better Call Saul sort of thing. That's interesting.
Yeah, that sounds interesting because it sets up the history that we already know, that we've watched and seen, and we see it. So it would be interesting to see.
Let me tell you, the Dornish are very, very interesting in this compared to what they came off as on the show. So,
really?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
that's
they're actually the coolest part of the stories that I've listened to right now. Their people and their interactions with the Targaryens. So
cool. And do you think, like, how much do you think audiences will really, like, you're a big Game of Thrones fan. You've read the books. You're listening to 10 hours of audiobooks and things like that. The average fan that watches Game of Thrones, what is that going to do for them in terms of...
I mean, maybe because it's more focused now in a world that they're familiar with, instead of thousands of years earlier, that would be drastically different than the Westeros and everything that people know.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how that came together a little bit more, so maybe they'll latch onto it.
I know, but like I was so looking forward to seeing some, like, you know, how
the first man,
the first man, and like and the White Walkers, and you know, the Night King, and
I do not want any more White Walkers after. Now that we know how they end, I don't really care how they begin.
Right, but I mean, even to justify why they ended the way they did.
But we didn't get an answer as to who he was, what his motive was, where he was going. Like, I guess maybe we did. I just feel like it was so ambiguous.
No, we didn't.
It wasn't stated.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't at all.
Okay.
Well, now that he's gone, he's chilling with Walt on the island. So let's go ahead and move into spooky trailer time.
Was that good?
It's trailer time.
All right, our first trailer is based off the name, I thought that this was a horror movie. I don't know what this movie is. It's called Bloodshot. It's starring Vin Diesel and Isa Gonzalez and Sam Huagin, directed by Dave Wilson.
And based on a comic no one's heard of.
Right? What is this?
You mentioned Guy Pearce there?
No. Is he in it?
Yeah, Guy Pearce is the bad guy.
Yeah, he's in it. Yep.
Yeah.
But my question is what... Okay, watching this trailer, what was this movie about?
Well, I think they actually gave way too much away. It apparently looks like he was killed, and then he's resurrected, and he's enhanced, and then they are using him as a weapon.
Okay.
That seems to go... They play with his mind, and they send him on missions to kill these people based on a memory that he's never even had, and they're adapting it.
Yeah, like who knows if he even did live or die, right? He's just being implanted with memories to kill people.
Exactly.
Targets specifically for this company, if they're run by the government or not.
Okay.
So that being said, this looks like the dumbest movie I think Hollywood has ever pushed out. It looks like another XXX failure, and this trailer left nothing to the imagination.
It looked like a parody of itself. Like it looked like they've got a scientist guy, and you've the nanobots in your bloodstream, and it's just like I just couldn't figure out what the movie with your description, Kevin, sounds so much cooler than what I watched in that trailer. Because that just was a hodgepodge of stuff.
I did like how he fought Spider-Man in the big.
You mean Venom?
No, with the suit, with the arms.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, the robot.
But it
arms.
almost feels like it could maybe be like another Venom.
Well, there's a lot going.
Sure, it was very Venom-y in
Right?
that sense. Yeah.
There's a lot going on though in this movie, and I just think that they left nothing to the imagination. This is the problem with trailers. It's literally, we have to show the audience everything, or else they're not going to come see this movie.
It's like a skyscraper with the rock there.
Oh my god,
That's the only way they could sell that
Dude.
movie is show you literally everything that's going to happen.
and that movie, I've watched it. It is the trailer.
Yeah.
It is the trailer.
Yeah.
So if anything, the marketing for this movie, you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
You don't need
And
to
I'm
go
sorry,
watch
but
it.
as soon as you say Vin Diesel, unless it's a Fast and Furious movie, I know it's going to suck.
I couldn't take him seriously. Like the moment he opens his mouth and
Unless he's talking about family and driving cars off cliffs, man, he sucks.
yeah. Well, I guess we're not going to go see that on February 21st, 2020. Something we might see sooner than later, though. Countdown. So this is a horror movie about this woman who downloads an app that claims to predict the moment a person will die. And she only gets 3 days. Of course, crazy things happen around her to make her think that this is actually going to happen.
Kev, you and I saw this movie. We saw Final Destination.
Yeah, it does very much look like that.
This is Final Destination, the Millennial Edition.
Yeah.
She gets some avocado toast and starts eating it.
That's how she dies, actually. You spoiled it for everybody.
Yeah, that's exactly it. She's going to go through thinking that she's seeing all of these scary things,
Yeah.
and then it's just going to end, and she's going to go spread some
Right.
avocado on her toast,
Yeah.
eat it, and die.
Yeah,
That's
she
how
had
the
a
movie
she had a
ends.
bad weed trip because she got the wrong strain.
This looked really lousy. The best part about this trailer was the tagline at the end. Death. There's an app for that. That's the only thing that was remotely entertaining about
it
that
looks
trailer.
fun though.
No, but it looks like a parody. It
Yeah.
looks like it's almost like you don't know if it's taking itself seriously. What's the other one, Shyamalan? The Happening?
oh,
we were
and
talking-
with the trees.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that
that's
idea.
an unintentional parody of itself.
Well, also
This one needed to be fun.
Yeah.
Kind of like a movie I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Happy Death Day to you,
Ooh,
or
okay.
Happy Death Day. It's a fun. You have to have fun with a concept like this, or it's The Grudge.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
the Grudge trailer coming out January 3rd, 2020. This looks interesting.
Yeah, and it's by the same people who did the Evil Dead reboot, which was insanely scary. I was blown away at how scary that was.
I'll admit that this looks scarier than that. What was it, Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I mean, this looks scarier than that.
You've
It
got
probably
more
won't
appropriate.
hold a candle to the original Japanese version.
Yeah. Do you think production on this was done before John Cho hurt his ankle? Did you guys hear that? Because John Cho was supposed to be doing the new live action version of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, no, this was definitely done well before.
Well, before that,
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe he hurt his ankle running away from this scary little Japanese girl. But in terms of the Grudge, like I've seen snippets of the original Grudge. I don't think I've ever watched it in full. But you know all the classic like moments from it and things like
The
that.
hand in the shower,
Yeah.
and the girl crawling out of tubs and stuff.
Yeah,
This is
underneath the bed,
a
like a
crappier
spider.
version of The Ring and a better version of this movie. They're all the same.
Yeah,
They all have the same aesthetic.
but this,
And why are you remaking a movie that's 10 years old? This is
Right.
another Pirates situation.
it's too new.
It's longer.
It's too new.
It's longer than 10 years though.
Mm,
Grudge.
I will
The original
find that
maybe
out.
the original Grudge.
Yeah, no, the original. No, not
Yeah.
the. I'm talking about the reboot with
I bet
Sarah
that's
Michelle- or the American version. with
2004. Okay, so 15 years. Now we're okay
So,
with that.
yeah. Well, no,
Don't remake anything that has a 2 in the date.
Well, here's my thing. I think it goes without saying. Why would you remake it? Because the other one was so classic and it worked,
Well,
right?
for a
No, I don't think so. I don't think that was well received.
The Grudge.
The Grudge with
The
Sarah
Grudge was
Michelle
well
Gellar.
received. Yeah.
Well, for a January 3rd release date, like all these movies are missing Halloween.
No, but that again, you have to remember with the way that they market these movies and they release them. It's not all about them just landing in a significant time. They
Yeah.
got to fill in times because what are you going to do up until summer when it's all blockbusters and big
Right.
big movies?
a 5.9 IMDb score. It was not well received. It's
Rough.
junk.
Yeah.
It's a cult classic though, and I know people. I know people that
I
appreciate
think
it.
you're confusing it with either the original version or you just making this up. Did you like it or something? And I'm
No,
insulting a
no,
movie
maybe
you liked?
maybe I'm mixing it up with The Ring.
Yeah,
Maybe
The Ring was popular.
Yeah, I
'cause it
think
was the
actually-
first to do it in North America.
Yeah, correct.
Now all these movies are just doing the same crap with the same scary little wet-haired girl.
Yeah. Now, moving on to something that is going to be super dark. This next trailer, Antlers, directed by Scott Cooper. This looks really freaky, and my boy Jesse Plemons is in it, and I love Jesse Plemons.
That's Fat Damon, right? He's fatter Damon in that trailer.
He gained a little bit
He's
of
getting
weight. Okay,
thick, man. No
Listen,
way. He's big in that.
It was for the role because
was it?
all detectives. They eat donuts, all
Right.
cops, right? So, but no, this looks freaky. I mean,
It was the best trailer that we reviewed.
yeah,
I think
Guillermo del Toro directing this movie.
yeah.
Just
No.
part
Or
of
no,
it.
sorry,
Just part of it.
part
yeah.
of it. Sorry,
yeah.
Scott
It's-
Cooper's directing.
Yeah, Scott Cooper's directing it. No, this was the best trailer that we viewed. It didn't get second to that would be Grudge. I
Mhm.
actually really enjoyed that trailer. It gave you the amount of suspense and didn't tell you everything.
Yeah.
Even though you kind of already know because it is the Grudge. But with
You guys are
this-
crazy. I like Bloodshot.
but this was nothing, and just the way it was sold with this kid and
Yeah, what's he do? Is he reassembling? He says something about dad at the end. Is he trying to reanimate his father using animal parts or something?
Or something like he's keeping him alive.
I think he's
Oh.
keeping something alive, and,
Right.
and I think for a
Jesus.
reason. So
Yeah.
I think that's what's interesting. I was so intrigued, and it does look freaky.
Yeah.
I'm 100% going to see this one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm least likely to see because it actually looks
Scary.
scary. So no, thank you.
I mean, the only thing, again, speaking about trailers giving everything away, I was both happy to hear him say "daddy" at the end, and then disappointed. At the
You're
same
right.
time.
If what you think might be going on, they did sort of give that away, didn't they?
I'm hoping my only hope is that they find a twist that's even better than that,
Right.
that pulls you in and you think, oh, he's helping his dad, and then something even crazier happens. So
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see. That one is coming out also in January 1st, 2020.
Damn.
So
I'll see that one.
that'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully
Yeah, I'll just go see Star Wars for the third time or something. No thanks. I'll
Probably
skip
by that
that
time
one.
it'll be like 6.
17th time after our marathon. Cool, guys. Well, that is all of our spooky, scary trailers for trailer time. Now, I'm a little bit too scared, but let's get into our topic of the show.
Total Recast.
So, as you heard, this is not a total recast. This is a total scare cast. And I've kind of tasked everyone to pick a non-horror genre film and recast it into a horror movie or thriller. We'll change the director, the cast, and even add maybe a little bit of plot to slightly help them, fit the genre a little bit better. So, with that being said, who do we want to go first, guys?
Why don't you show us
me
how
to-
this is done, Nate?
Okay, so all right, let's see what we got here. So for my total scare cast, I am going to be recasting Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Cool.
So
That's a good one.
this is going to be directed Guillermo del Toro.
Perfect.
And so he's going to be directing, I think, his visual style for some of the crazy things that you can do with this factory. I think will be really interesting. I'll get into why I think he's even better a little bit later on. For the role of Charlie, I'm going to be picking Jaden Martell. Jaden Martell is from It. He plays Bill.
You are correct.
Yeah, so Jaden Martell plays Bill. He's kind of like the taller one. And I just think once you hear my plot, it might make a little bit more sense. But he's playing Charlie. I just thought find any blonde-haired kid, guy, teen.
I mean, he's not blonde, but yeah, no, you're right. I think he does fit the role well. I see where you're going.
Yeah,
with that.
no, I could see him in.
Find a white kid that can act. Coming up next for Grandpa Joe, Max von Sydow. So, do you guys are aware of Max von
I
Sydow?
think so, yeah.
of
Right?
course.
So imagine.
Jeez, he's getting so old he might actually be bedridden.
Hopefully not, but I just think he has the opportunity to play more of a sort of more serious, creepy Grandpa Joe, that we're not sure necessarily his intentions with, helping his grandson, to win this competition.
To go to a factory, which might not be what it seems.
So Mrs. Bucket, who is Charlie's mom, is going to be played by Brie Larson. Just a younger mom sort of look to her. Just easy. She's not going to be there for too much of the film. For Violet Beauregard, Millie Bobby Brown is going to be our Violet Beauregard.
You're turning sweet little 11 into a bad guy.
Yeah, nice. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's give her a chance she's played so many roles where she's 11, So I wanted to try and give her something different, with Violet Beauregard being she's like the sporty, like super competitive, hair slicked back sort of look on her. I think would be really cool for Millie Bobby Brown. For Augustus Gloop, we have Julian Dennison. So Julian Dennison is one of your favorite movies, Justin, Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh, okay.
So you've got, right, he's a little bit of a bigger, the guy from Deadpool, right? He's a little bit of a bigger kid, right? Bigger guy. So I think that would be a really fun role for him to kind of
sink his teeth into,
and get really
like a chocolate bar.
Gloopy. For Veruca Salt, I chose Aubrey Frances Anderson of Modern Family fame.
Oh, okay.
So she's the young daughter of Cam and
Lily,
right? So I think she could do a good job. Like I've only seen her a little bit in Modern Family. I haven't watched too much of that show, but I think her ability to speak back to her parents, like in those episodes where she like acts out, I think would be really cool to see her embrace that. So I think it'll be kind of neat, a different take on her.
Cool.
For Mike TV, we've got Evan Alex, who is from Us. He's the kid, the boy in Us, in that family. So I just think for Mike TV, kind of, again, doing that really sort of, in the trailer for Us, when he's just staring back at his whatever they're called, is tethered, and he's sort of just looking at him. Imagine that, but then in front of a TV, just really freaky. And then for the Oompa Loompa, and I think this is an interesting casting. It would be Peter Dinklage, just coming in, kind of taking on that role. Are you going to give the Oompa Loompas maybe a little bit more to do than just sing and pour flour into a chocolate river? Well, there's not going to be multiple Oompa Loompas.
There's going to be an Oompa Loompa.
And
so you're not Tim Burtoning this and just giving me 100
no.
Peter Dinklages. Okay,
not
good. Okay,
Peter
cool.
Dinklages.
Just got to make
thank
sure.
God. Thank God.
Only one Peter Dinklage. And last but not least, certainly not least, Willy Wonka will be played by Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, wow.
In his kind of
That's your best casting.
Moving
right
into dude, right? How good is that, right? Like, especially kind of taking on a different role for him, still being eccentric, still being Jeff Goldblum, but getting a little bit darker with it. And, getting to see like seeing him in some of his more serious roles, like seeing him in like The Fly, for instance, and just kind of coming off some of those vibes where he can kind of really be eerie and creepy, I think is going to be awesome.
Yeah, he'd do better than Johnny Depp.
I mean, I love Jeff Gold. I think everybody in the world does.
Right.
But he really does balance between being eccentric and being an absolute creepo weirdo, right? And he's so lovely that he's on the positive side of that.
Correct.
But you just tip that scale a little bit and he could go full-blown weirdo. So I like that. I could see him really being quite crazy in that role.
So let me give you my elevator pitch for this movie. A poor but hopeful boy seeks one of the 5 coveted golden tickets that will send him on a tour of Willy Wonka's mysterious miracle factory in hopes he will be able to finally leave his family that treats him terrible. His grandfather shows him nothing but kindness, and the grandfather actually submits the boy's name into a contest that can only be won by kids, and to both their surprise, Charlie wins. Grandpa Joe and Charlie get to the factory only to find it's not all what they expected. So the factory in this case is going to be positioned as a factory that solves life's problems for people. So it's a miracle factory. So they go in and they fix people's lives essentially. They arrive in a dark room and the door locks behind them. And the brightest light they'd ever seen lights up, and they're greeted by William Wonka and his partner Oompa. And he promises the children, all of them, will rid themselves of their worst attributes if they pass their tests. Immediately, they fall into separate rooms, each stuck having to pass a sadistic alternate reality test, All of them fail in the most gruesome way possible, each one worse than before. Will Charlie survive? And where did Grandpa Joe go? Find out in Guillermo del Toro's The Factory. Not bad?
I like it.
Yeah?
I wouldn't see that movie.
Too scary for you?
I just don't want to watch a bunch of kids get mutilated personally. But
listen, they're teenagers. Okay, I think they can handle it. I mean, if you look at especially Us and things like that, seeing some of those age kids, and by the time this movie comes out, they'll be a little bit older. So I don't think you have to worry too much about that.
Well, it's interesting because it's totally not what the source material is. It's just referencing like characters or aspects of it, and just telling.
You went pretty far
story.
out on the story.
Yeah, you went very far.
You just need to take that original Willy Wonka and just show what happens to those kids, and it becomes a horror movie,
but
right?
That's it, right? Like I think that's the better way to play it. Is that it still has some of those attributes that are very traditional to that. I like the idea of calling it The Factory.
It's kind of like Willy Wonka meets Saw.
Correct. And
Yes.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Is like they're all put into these positions where they think that they are making the right decision, and they're they get really, each one of them have their own, gluttony and greed and competitiveness, and all of them have, too much TV or too much screen time, right? And so taking all of those things and making them almost, in a weird, creepy, sadistic Jeff Goldblum character coming in and making them feel like they are getting better. They are doing better.
After hearing your pitch, it's like Jeff Goldblum would be good for a Willy Wonka role, but for the one that you just described, I don't think he's good for that.
No?
No.
Who would you put in there instead?
That's a tough one. Maybe someone.
You can't talk smack if you don't have a backup.
Well, I would say Jude Law. I say Jude Law could really kind of give some dynamic range to that and really go creepy.
But I don't think he's fun enough. Like, again, this can.
What
be
about
a
a Ray
scary
Fiennes?
movie.
Because he can go super quirky, but he's also been
Yeah.
evil. And I'm not even talking, necessarily Harry Potter, right? Voldemort, but I don't know if you've seen Red Dragon. Like he can go super sadistic and be as quirky and lovely as possible. So maybe he's. I don't mind the Goldblum for this role. I could see.
I like Goldblum for a Willy Wonka reboot.
Just
That's
in
awesome. Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
All right. Well,
There's
I get
one
point.
movie. There's one movie I would endorse a reboot of. I like Elements.
Yeah.
I certainly think you could work with Elements and make that a reality.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great title.
Excellent. Thank you. The Factory.
Yes.
Awesome.
So am I next?
Justin, you are next.
Okay.
Let's hear what you got, and then I'm going to tear it apart.
Okay, so all right, so I'm going to be recasting a movie that I absolutely loved when I was a kid, The Mask.
Oh, okay.
And now my motif with this is to
It's tough.
Well, the thing is that you're thinking of Jim Carrey, so
Yeah.
we're going to strip this down.
Okay.
We're going back to comic book history of The Mask.
Okay.
So darker, more psychotic, a little bit more about kind of aspects of who Jim Carrey's character was, but lose that sort of super high glossy animation. Because the whole idea is to infuse a little bit more horror into this. So the kind of horror movies that I like are more like thrillers that have aspects of horror that are more like leave the audience kind of questioning certain things. So I see the interest in The Mask as being like a duplicity between two characters, and this character, the main character, having to kind of cope with maybe having two personalities always inside of them and going really dark with that.
Cool.
And kind of in the process, I think would be cool. Not like the Joker, but this person would become a hero, would actually be able to do that, because that's kind of where The Mask goes, but it's like the anti-hero, if you will.
So who's playing Jim Carrey?
So I would say first, that was the pitch. The director or / writer I would go for is Cary Fukunaga,
Who did?
True Detective. I think he's in the process. He wrote It, the first one.
Cool.
So I think he wrote the second one, but I'm not sure. But he has this idea of understanding like how to write more character focus things.
Okay.
But True Detective is a testament to him.
Okay. I dig that.
Yeah, I like him. So the thing with the story is that you cannot do it one of two ways. You can do it as its own reboot.
Yeah.
And you keep the cast as male, female, bad guy.
Okay.
Right? And you just keep it very focused on that.
Yeah.
So if you go down that route, you could do Eddie Redmayne as the main character. So you wouldn't name him Stanley Ipkiss.
Right.
That wouldn't be what you do. You could go different with it,
Yeah.
but it still has the same tone of the male protagonist.
Okay.
The female role, I would go with is Zendaya.
Okay.
Yeah,
So this is
Zendaya.
more of a younger group of casting then?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but maybe it's not like she's in a relationship with him. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like you don't write it in that aspect.
Right.
I think the villain could be Tom Hardy.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Cool.
And if you wanted to, you could do a very gangster style, sort of reminiscent, but more classy.
Yeah.
Very much like in the original movie, which was played by Peter Green.
Okay.
I think his name was Dorian.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you could definitely do something like that if you wanted to like really draw back. But I was also thinking if you wanted to be different, you could flip the roles.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie Redmayne would actually be the secondary character, and Zendaya would be your protagonist.
Oh, wow.
And she's the one that's going through this psychotic.
See, now
sort of thing.
I'm
So
maybe a
there's-
little more interested in that.
See, yeah. So like you could do something like that. But I only teeter on that as being an option because there's a lot of that happening right now where it's like reimagining and rebooting, but also doing gender sort of
Right,
switching.
gender swap, yeah.
So it might
Who are
be
you going to call?
Yeah, exactly. So, you could do it though if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And it would just be you could do either a sequel or a direct reboot, whatever you want to do. But I
Sure.
would just want to keep it more about the mentality and this sort of like mixing of the two, more of like a psychological thriller
I love that.
aspect to The Mask.
Yeah.
So that's my pitch.
I love it. And so, but for Zendaya's character, she would wear a mask.
Yeah, like she would discover the mask. You would have that
Yeah.
similar sort of origin, that's something that feels familiar.
Yeah.
And maybe bring that in.
See, in my mind, again, because of her age, I'm just picturing her like she wants to go to a Halloween party or something.
Maybe, yeah. I think that's also casting, but like it's something like this that could definitely push someone to being seen differently. Euphoria, it does deal with high school, and she looks very
Sure.
high school for it. But
So this
she
is
does not.
this is going to be the movie that moves her away from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it
Love
shows a little bit more, and she can really own it. And I think she shows a great dynamic interaction.
And the title for that movie is,
The Mask.
I was just going to say Mask, but I love it.
Yeah, drop
Oh,
the. It's
yeah,
cleaner.
Yeah.
I mean,
totally.
I'm not sure I'm seeing the horror elements and how an anti-hero and a bad guy fit into a horror story.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
But
it's
an interesting idea that I think could be worked with.
Yeah, it has some elements that would need to be reworked,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that there's an opportunity with that story to go very thriller side of horror.
like in this kind of the more scary parts of Doctor Strange, like those weird sort of psychological moments where he's falling through time and space. Like I think you could maybe work with color in that way and kind of the
And it's almost
cinematography.
torturous for her in the mask, and
Yeah.
maybe it drives her to do bad things, and she's
Exactly.
trying to fight that. I could see how it could
cool.
be expanded
or
and
if,
worked on.
Or what if it had its own voice, right? So what
that's-
if you bring in
she would be another character
Yeah.
in that mask, and that she would hear that voice,
Hear that voice
and
in
that
the
voice would
background.
interact with
You
her.
just don't want it to get too venomy.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got, did you say Tom Hardy's in that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's
Careful.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Kevin. I love that, Justin. Kevin, what do you got for Scarecast?
Okay, well, I went a little different. If you've been listening to the show, you know I'm not the biggest horror movie fan.
Mhm.
So I didn't really feel like my expertise would lend itself to recast a movie as a straight-up horror. What I do enjoy is
As
a
a straight up horror.
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 That's HORROR. What I do enjoy, though, is a good horror comedy.
Okay.
I love a good horror comedy. I'm
Cool.
talking Cabin in the Woods.
Mhm.
I'm talking, I mean, not that I've seen it, but I know Evil Dead 2 and
Sure.
3 certainly lend themselves to that more than the first. But the one I'm most specifically sort of thinking about would be a Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And that sort of style I'm going to apply, that kind of style to Christmas Vacation. So
Okay.
just chill with me
Okay,
here as I get
I'm-
into this.
We're along for the ride. We're in our seats.
Do you
got
want
your
my
tickets?
Do you want my
got your popcorn?
cast first?
Let's go with. Do you have a direct?
I do. So my director is going to be Christopher Landon. He's done the Happy Death Day movies.
Okay.
He's done a couple other horror movies, all to varying levels of meddling success.
Mhm.
But if I want this sort of fun, upbeat horror movie, I think he might be able to take what he's done in the Happy Death Day movies and apply it to something new. So I went with somebody, who let's give him a chance to really show what he can do here with a good script rather than the junk he's kind of been working with mostly up till now.
And I'm hearing the trailer kind of. It's got like sort of like a fun like doom, ding, like sort of song going.
Sure,
to
maybe
it right
a
at the
Christmas
beginning.
song as they're driving up to the cabin and everything like that.
Well, it's a holly jolly Christmas.
So it's essentially a horror comedy with a twist. Clark is going to be played by Paul Rudd.
Of course.
Lovable Paul Rudd, who's
Yeah.
going to get himself
Brilliant.
into a series of trouble.
Yeah,
His wife, Ellen, will be played by Amy Poehler.
of course.
Oh, perfect.
And then their children, Audrey and Rusty, will be played by Emma Roberts. Now, Emma Roberts is the new Scream Queen.
Oh, okay.
She's been in American Horror Story.
Oh,
I
she
believe she was in
definitely worked.
Scream 4 and even a show called Scream Queens.
yes.
And then she was also in what was that movie?
Julia Roberts' niece?
I believe so, yes.
She was in that movie. We're the Millers,
Yes.
which
Oh, yeah. Great.
perfect.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. I love Emma Roberts. I really do like her
Very
work. She's a lot of fun. And then Rusty, because we need a ginger, and I want to see this man die on screen. Give me some Ed Sheeran,
No,
just
way.
for kicks.
Oh, that's good.
Just for kicks. And
That's
you know what?
a good one.
I mean, he was a lot of fun in Yesterday.
Yeah.
He showed some chops in that.
Is
So
that the only thing he's?
that's the only thing. And
Besides
Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones.
Yeah. No singing in this movie, though. I promise, folks. And then you're going to get
Interesting.
Uncle Eddie. He's going to be played by Rainn Wilson.
Perfect.
And his
Wow.
wife, Catherine, will be Isla Fisher,
D-
who can play kind of quirky, because I need some really quirky characters in that role.
She can definitely do like sort of the crazy.
Minus your horror influence to this is a great casting just for a Christmas vacation movie.
Yes, it probably would be.
It would be
a lot of
brilliant.
fun.
yeah,
it'd be
Jeff
brilliant.
Goldblum shows up.
But so again, this what basically happens is they go up to the cabin, they're having a nice Christmas. All of a sudden things start going awkwardly wrong for Clark, and terrible accidents keep happening, even though he's not aware of it. So think about all the big moments in the Christmas Vacation movie. They go and chop down the tree, but it goes horribly wrong and actually crushes one of the people. Be it maybe Rusty dies here.
Right.
Maybe the neighbors, Todd and Margaret, maybe they die.
Right.
He sets up all the lights and asks somebody to help, and they go down and plug it in, and they get electrocuted to death. And he's unaware that these people keep dropping off around him.
Bringing in the Tucker and
Boom,
Dale
boom,
influence, right?
right? So it's unintentional. He has no idea, and you just think, oh, these are terrible incidents happening.
Yeah.
Until all of a sudden, you're just left with Clark and Eddie and Catherine, and it turns out they've been behind it all along, planning
spoilers.
everything. And he has to fight them off to survive.
Cool.
But he's also left without a family or friends or anything. So
Jeez.
it starts off like a fun,
Dark.
awkward sort of movie and ends pretty dark, I hope,
Yeah.
to get that horror punch to it so it's not too slapsticky.
Yeah, but it's nice because you have like two beats to the
You
movie.
get this twist, right? You think it's all fun and games until all of a sudden you find out that Eddie's been behind it all along.
That's
Crazy
interesting.
Uncle
That's
Eddie.
interesting.
Especially with Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson,
being
he
able
sort
to
of
pull that off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I could also see him being potentially more reserved in the first half of the movie, and then breaking more into his nutty Dwight Schrute-esque,
Yeah.
Oh
mode.
yeah, And
Dwight
I'd love to see-
Dwight Schrute channeling Randy Quaid, right? So there we go.
Well, I think we all know who won this Scarecast. Kevin. I know it's not a competition. I don't know.
That's kind of you. But I would agree, just to end this off, that I would just rather see that as a Christmas Vacation remake.
Okay.
So keep it a comedy, have fun with that cast. I'd love to see that.
Cool. Well, that has been our total Scarecast. Next up, we're going to move into Mailbag. Jesse from Toronto writes in. Thank you, Jesse, for writing in. By the way, if any of you guys would like to write in who are listening to this right now, Justin, where can they write into?
They can reach us at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. That's wearegeekcentric@gmail.com.
It's not a soundbite. That's just he does that every time.
I do it every time.
So, we want to. Jesse asks, "What are the top 3 movies that you like to watch around Halloween?" So these aren't necessarily. They don't have to be horror movies necessarily. They just have to be movies that fit perfectly with the spirit of the season.
Okay, so, okay. Now, I will admit I haven't seen this movie in about 25 years. But as a kid, it was one of my favorites. I was big on the Ernest series as a kid. I loved me some Ernest. Ernest goes to jail. Ernest goes to school. But my favorite,
Yeah.
probably rented this 10 different times, and it didn't even have to be Halloween, but it certainly fits the theme, was Ernest Scared Stupid.
Okay.
I loved Ernest Scared Stupid. This movie is no doubt absolutely horrible. But the Ernest character, played by Jim Varney, was just an all-time favorite slapsticky sort of comedy character of mine as a kid growing up. And this one wasn't scary enough to really throw me off as a kid when I was an even bigger wuss.
Yeah.
But it had those themes, and he basically fights off an evil troll who's turning all the town children into wooden dolls.
It sounds like a made-for-TV movie.
And he basically probably beats him with a whoopee cushion and a wiffle ball bat. You know, that's the kind of movie we're talking about here. So
You've got the poster of him inside of a giant pumpkin making the same face in every single poster.
right, you just have to put bars beside it, and then it's in jail, and that sort of thing.
To the point where they literally probably just use that same photo for every poster and just photoshopped it differently.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
that one, just thinking about that brought back some memories of going to the old video store down the street and renting that boy on VHS a lot.
Very cool. Earnest, Scared, Stupid. Justin, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is a classic.
Mm.
It would actually be a Hitchcock classic, Psycho.
Oh.
Absolutely love that movie. I was saying before, I like the horror movies that are a little bit more like thriller, you know, play with the mind a little bit more. And you know, watching that for the first time when I was in film school was pretty awesome, just to kind of get a sense of like how ahead of the time Hitchcock was.
Cool.
Oh, he reinvented cinema in many ways with that. Have you seen the documentary? What's it called here? 7852.
No, I haven't.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm not a big fan of the movie itself, but I certainly appreciate what it did for cinema, specifically that shower scene. Mm-hmm. And that's what this documentary is all about. It was 78 setups and 52 cuts to put that scene together. And and directors and editors and stuff come together and talk about just the brilliance behind what he did with that scene and his team, right? His editor and cinematographer and the music and the set. It's you'll love it. Yeah. It was really fascinating.
I forgot that note. That's a good point. Yeah, the fact that he shot so many different takes and so many different angles and was able to take all of that footage to really make that seem so chaotic. Mm-hmm. And just, you know,
it was brilliant because you never see anything, but you see it all in the way they've shot it and the music and you got to watch this documentary. You'll be blown away. You'll find it so fascinating.
So I've never seen Psycho, but I mean, I've watched a little bit of Bates Motel. Is it worth seeing the source material?
You have to.
Yeah,
you have to see it
absolutely.
once, man. It's iconic, right?
It's iconic. It's entirely.
Now, how do you feel about the Vince Vaughn remake?
Oh no.
Okay.
No, I remember watching that. I think shortly after I'd seen it, and it was just Hitchcock was very much forward-thinking filmmaker, very different.
And as a fan of filmmaking, I think that's where you appreciate it.
That's where I appreciate it.
My number 3 has already been mentioned on this podcast. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's a 2010 comedy horror film. Have you guys both seen it?
I haven't actually seen it.
Okay,
go out of your way. It's great.
It is great. And I remember originally thinking, like, going into the movie, I was like, okay, it's gonna be okay, but it's not gonna be that great. And it's really good. Tyler Labine and Alan Tudyk play this pair of well-meaning hillbillies who are mistaken for killers by a group of clueless college students, and they're all sort of like freaked out by these hillbillies that are coming over to them, and they just want to be, you know, they think they're evil and awful and scary. I love the cinematography in the movie and the way that they cut like the visuals for it.
Yeah, they take all these horror tropes and Tucker and Dale are unintentionally like dispersing these, you know, or projecting these onto these poor kids who are terrified of them, and it's
so good.
And then a series of mishaps.
And they're just so kind-hearted and so charming that you really root for these two characters. And it's just it's such fun, the way that they take those college students from being albeit the good characters sort of, to becoming just these wretched, horrible people, is just awesome. So definitely check it out. That's my number 3. Kevin, what's your number 2?
Number 2 on the list. So this is one I've actually seen within the last 2 decades. Sarah and I have a series of movies we like to watch every Halloween. We actually just watched it last night. The first of the 2 movies, which is the Addams Family movies.
Okay.
Absolutely love the Addams Family movies. I think they are almost underappreciated in how brilliant they really are. Performances by Raul Julia, like him as Gomez, is just unbelievable. Like, have you seen it? No, another one. Get this man
Oh, I
some.
know. Get him a TV with a VHS player and then sit him in front of
Get
it.
some '90s tapes.
Like,
in front
what were
of
your
this.
parents showing you, man?
Good movies like The Lion King and Five Foot Goes West.
I mean, there's some dark undertones, but it's meant to be sweet and lovely, in the long run. But no,
sure.
the Addams Family movies are great, and it's one case where the sequel is just as good as the first,
Really?
if not potentially better.
It's better. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the sequel is amazing. The kids go to camp and torment these poor kids. It's unbelievable.
Awesome.
We're actually watching that over the next maybe tonight or tomorrow, so I'm excited for that one because that's actually my favorite of the two. But those movies are great. Go out of your way to check those out, and super Halloween-y for sure.
Very cool. Justin, what is your number 2?
I guess my number 2, I'm going on the basis of things that I like to rewatch that definitely have these sort of vibes. So American Psycho with Christian Bale. Absolutely love that one. Another one of those very psychological horror movies.
Yeah.
I just love everything about it. The aesthetic, the 90s vibe, this idea of a businessman being so obsessed and so, a perfectionist, and even down to the nuance of how he kills people.
Yeah. Is that the one with the business card scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen him.
Perfectly off-white.
I've seen him.
Tastefully thick.
But and that scene is so pivotal because it shows him cracking. Like, it shows that he's breaking in at work.
Yeah, it's starting to come through.
Yeah, it's starting to come through. Like, it's such a great scene, and you really see that it's more about power that's driving him.
Yeah.
I had watched it a lot because I wrote a paper about it,
Mm.
and funny enough, it was for a class about horror.
Oh, cool.
It was a genre study class where all you did for the semester was just watch horror movies and like write about them and talk about them, and that's where Psycho kind of came out of it too. So
I've seen a meme on the internet of they've just replaced the business cards with Pokemon cards.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
It's-
I saw one, and he's holding it, and he says the same. Oh, look at the subtle off-white.
Yeah.
It's the perfectly tasteful thickness, and then it's actually a pig, and they even made it look like a pig, and then it's got Homer's BBBQ on it. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny.
That's fantastic.
yeah. So I definitely like to revisit that one, and Christian Bale's performance.
Awesome. My number 2 would be Cabin in the Woods.
I was so tempted to put that on my list.
So it's if you haven't seen it, like, have you both seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just like the idea of them literally portraying every single trope. And again, going into this movie, it was one of those things where I was not expecting what I was going to get out of it. It's just it was so refreshing to go into a horror movie, and it starts to set itself up and you think you know what you're getting into. And just the way that it twists it and turns it into almost this Truman Show-esque vibe to it.
The only way that movie could have been better
Mhm.
is if they were able to get the licenses to the characters that they were
Referencing. Yeah.
If you had Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees
Yeah.
and Chucky and
Mhm.
the Scream Ghost, if you had those characters coming out and so it really was this idea that the horror movies we watch are just this government experiment for whatever purpose that would have just
Been huge.
But
yeah.
even without that, it is because that was when I got dragged to kicking and screaming. I do not like horror movies. I do not want to see this movie, and it was anything but. It was brilliant. Chris Hemsworth is hilarious in that movie.
Good. And that was probably the first time that that was the first time I'd
That
seen
was
him in anything
that was pre-Thor.
funny,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah.
pre-Thor. So
Yeah, that movie went through a lot of problems. Like, it sat on the shelf for a
Years,
very long time.
right,
before-
and like the creators of the film, one of the big things that they kind of noticed about, I guess, horror at the time was that it was fantasizing torture too much, like a la like Saw sort of thing, right? So they wanted to try and steer away from that while embracing the things they loved about horror. So you could really tell in the movie, like, this is a movie for people that do love horror movies, but also it was smart enough and written well enough to the point where even if you didn't enjoy a lot of aspects about horror movies, you could laugh at that, right? So
Yeah, I think the other thing was that it was marketed really well. It was marketed more as a horror movie, and then when you got into it, you
so
sat
good.
down and you watched it, and it's like, well, it like you said, it shifts halfway through, and then it's like, oh wow, like this is entirely different from what it was set up to be.
and that worked for me to remember it, like to again, for me to put it on a list like this. But
Right.
for going into the movie. I'm just wondering how many people didn't see it. And then, so hopefully this description was vague enough that if you haven't seen it, go see it or watch it.
Yeah, I don't think we gave
rent
anything away too much,
Well,
but that is
give
one
away.
that I recommend to people a
So
lot.
good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I've never heard a negative feedback from it. Everyone's gone like, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So definitely go out and check that one out.
Very cool.
We definitely vibe on the horror comedy
I think
part
so.
of things. Yeah.
I think so.
I think you need to laugh, or it's just too serious
but-
for me. I don't want to watch people get hacked up just for the sake of it.
No, for
It's-
sure. I agree. I think that's overplayed with in the horror genre. But
Right.
like now, the idea of fusing other elements into it, that's what horror is really. It's like horror is now just like a recipe that you mix into other things.
Yeah.
And there are still those movies that are very slash 'em, cut 'em, gore,
Sure.
heavy.
But but again, those movies, when they understand what they are, they're more enjoyable. When it's
Right.
those movies that are doing the gory thing and they don't quite understand that that's the way they're doing it is kind of laughable. Like, I think as far as the most gory thing that I've seen this year, that really stuck with me was watching Hereditary. So like when I saw Hereditary,
I've said that was gory.
I would say
No, but
so.
I think it was more the idea.
But you brought up the idea laughable.
Yes.
Laughable.
And that was not laughable.
No, but that's a realistic, horrifying, like you're scared. But
Yeah.
there is a whole subculture within the horror genre
Yeah. Mhm.
that appreciate that gore and they laugh at it. Like
Right.
I've been at like packed theaters where when that kill scene happens, people are laughing.
Yeah.
Just because of how ridiculous it is. Movies that play with that and really go stupid with it, it's fun.
Kevin, what is your number one Halloween movie? Jesse wants to know.
My number one go-to must-watch every year pre-Halloween is the greatest Halloween movie ever made, Hocus Pocus.
Oh,
100%.
it was on my list.
100%. Oh, it can't get bumped. It's the best ever. I don't think much needs to be said about it. I think it's a cult classic, and I think it gets more and more appreciated. I'm very excited that they recently announced that there's going to be something of a sequel
They're doing
going
more
on
with-
Disney+.
and they're bringing
Plus.
back the original.
Let's get Bet, Sarah, and Catherine Najimy back, and see where they go from there. But I love that movie. So much fun.
Fun fact: people did not love it when it released.
No, yes, it's come out as a cult classic. I mean,
Yeah,
I did.
exactly.
it lost Disney $16.5 million,
Which I guess 93.
in 1993.
I'm guessing that was a lot of money for Disney. Now they're like, well,
Right.
even Kathleen Kennedy's like, I got that in my wallet somewhere here. But
Yeah.
I remember, I mean, I was 8 years old. That movie was just so wonderful for an 8-year-old kid. So I'm so happy that it's grown in sort of a cult.
But I think
You liked Mary, didn't you?
who didn't?
I like them big, whatever.
But I think the interesting thing with it sort of coming back into popularity, at least recently. I mean, it did celebrate its anniversary just last year.
Yes.
And I was actually at Disney World when they did the Hocus Pocus sort of celebration,
Yeah, I
and
was
they
there too.
were
Yeah.
right. They were part of that, and they did that performance was really cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see the like characters on stage.
Yeah.
Like
They did
obviously
a
it
good
wasn't
job
them,
with it.
but like
No,
you know,
but you were. I mean, you could have fooled me. They were really good
yeah,
at it.
of course.
Yeah.
It's Disney.
Yeah, I actually missed that when I was there this year.
Yeah.
We were busy.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
But I mean, listen. If you want to hear a really good replication performance of that, stay tuned for our next, or maybe might already be out.
Go
Yeah,
check
it'll
it
be
out
out.
now.
Go
It's
check it
out.
out now.
Go
check it
watch
out.
our Halloween fun
We're all,
boxing.
we're all plugging this video. Go check it out now. Go check it out.
Sarah does an incredible. She's the best voice actor we have here.
Oh, yeah.
Justin, what is your number one Halloween movie? You have to watch it every Halloween.
I have to watch it every Halloween.
I mean, maybe you don't. But what's
Well,
your number
no,
one?
but my number one is
No
is-
one's gonna force you.
Yeah, no, I know. My number one, which kind of leans into the comedy and the horror side and is laughable and you enjoy, is Slither by James Gunn.
Oh, I've wanted to watch that movie.
Dude, Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, Michael Rooker.
Dude.
Those are your
And
quintessential cast
and it's
members.
by.
It's by James Gunn, man.
That's right.
That's one of his first. It's
Yeah,
his first
that
movie.
was-
It's written
yeah.
and directed by him.
Right, because wasn't there a reference to Slither in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I believe so. I think there was like the creature was there.
It was in one of the tanks the collector
yeah,
had,
I
right?
think so. Yeah.
That movie is like all kinds of no thank you for
Yeah,
me.
no, it's-
I
it's
ain't watching
really-
things
it's
with
really
bugs
gross, but
and blech.
I have to say, when I saw it in theaters. It was packed. Everyone was excited to see it, and people laughed more than they did like Scream. Like there was definitely some jump scares, but it was more laughable, especially where it climaxed to the antagonist and understanding and seeing it was very visual. Like it was gross, and it garnished a lot of like
they're
great
going
laughs.
up the skin and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, but like if you haven't seen it, Nate, you should definitely
and
watch
there's
it.
explosions and
Have you
lots of
seen it?
splatters. Are you kidding me?
No, okay.
I'm getting vibes of like that one scene from The Mummy when that beetle crawls into that guy's arm. Is that
Sure,
similar?
and now
grosser.
Sure,
Yeah.
grosser and more visually disgusting.
I'm in.
It's well done. It's well
Cool.
done. So yeah, that's definitely one of my number one horror movies.
Cool. My number one Halloween movie, Nightmare Before Christmas. I dig it. It's something that's grown on me. I didn't love it the first time I saw it, actually. It's taken me like watching it over and over and over again to kind of really like understand it, and then just respecting like the quality of what it was and when it came out, you know, how it was made. And it's awesome because you can watch it 2 times in the year, both on Halloween and Christmas. And if you're lucky enough to live in Canada, you might get to experience both seasons at once, just like in the movie. I remember last year, actually, we were watching it at a friend's apartment, and literally as Jack started discovering snowflakes, we look outside and it starts snowing.
That's some Disney magic for you.
It was amazing. It was so cool. It was really, it was a fantastic kind of experience, and the music, and I mean, what can you say about that score? And obviously we, you know, as you've maybe seen in the video that we just launched, like singing it has been, you know, part of our last few Halloween.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those movies that brings those seasons together. It's very much like your pitch for the Scarecast.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's a blend of like 2 holidays. They're obviously very literal with how they've incorporated both of those holidays, you know, and being kind of scared, but also enjoying the idea of holidays and stuff like that. It's fun. It's a fun movie.
It's definitely a movie like you that I didn't enjoy the first time I saw it. 94?
Came out in...
It's actually 93.
93. But that was one, as a kid, I didn't really like too much.
But you loved Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, man. I gave Disney some love that year. But had to go back and watch it for our Halloween video last year, and, you know, to get an impression of the songs and stuff, because we did the Nightmare Before Christmas musical, and man, is that movie good.
Yeah, I love it.
And like you said, appreciating what they had to do to make that movie. You know, we do our form of animation, and so it's just staggering to think about how much work must have gone into that.
That was a big thing, though, about that movie, is how much effort went into making, you know, like all the different faces for Jack and how to animate him so it looked like he was singing.
It took your stop motion animation from Wallace and Gromit, which is incredible and wonderful in its own way, and just amped it up 1,000 times over. And, you know,
It established Tim Burton's own animation aesthetic.
Yeah.
he was literally one of the great filmmakers with his own unique style. And I mean, his best movie is still Big Fish.
Yes,
100%. Fight me on that
Do you
one,
guys-
but that's not what we're
hold
talking
on,
about.
Hold on. Just, no, 1 second. You guys like Big Fish?
I love Big Fish.
Love Big Fish.
Oh, thank goodness. I love Big Fish.
Yeah, Big Fish is amazing.
So good.
It's
And
amazing.
It gets so much crap.
No, but it's again, it's one of those transitional films. It takes it in a new direction.
I think if you're expecting a creepy, weird movie, you don't get it's. There's so much heart and
just so
sweetness in that movie
lovable.
with that signature Tim Burton aesthetic in a brighter, like it's a new color scheme for him. It's everything. Yeah, so I can see why
that's
people
gets
didn't like
hated.
it.
Yeah, that's why it gets hated on so much. It's like, it's not dark. It's not too weird. It has weird aspects.
It doesn't have that gothic appeal. No, that movie's wonderful. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. But we're talking about Halloween.
Cool. So those are our top 3 Halloween movies. Go watch a Halloween movie.
Don't go watch Ernest Scared Stupid, guys.
Maybe-
There's 8 movies on this list you should maybe check out.
Maybe skip that one. And lastly, Jesse just asked his one last tagline here. Favorite Halloween candy. What is your favorite Halloween candy? My favorite Halloween candy, I really like Nerds. And like, listen, obviously Snickers
Kind of like cannibalism because you're eating yourself.
well, listen, we're geeks, okay? Not nerds.
I like the
that's right, sorry.
knockoff.
There's a difference.
I like knockoff nerds. Geeks.
Yeah, geeks, yeah. But no, I mean, Snickers is phenomenal. Unfortunately, Justin has never gotten a chance to
No, never.
enjoy them. But Nerds are one of those candy. When I think about Halloween candy, I think about candy that I only really experience around Halloween, and I'm not. Who's going out and buying nerds?
Oh man, I was a big nerd eater.
Really?
I loved getting the box and you mix the two flavors. Pink and purple is the best.
It's so good.
Fight me on that.
Kevin, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
That's really tough, man. Why is it that if you shrink down a chocolate bar, it's even better than the big version? Like, I could never eat a full Three Musketeers bar, but when you give me that little one, I'll eat 10 of them, which has got to be more than a big, full Three Musketeer bar. I don't know. I think my favorite chocolate candy is Smarties.
Smarties.
I know that's a very Canadian thing.
Yep. In America, they're known as Rockets? Or no, they call...
yeah.
I think there's like some mix up there. Right,
well, because we have Rockets and they call them something else.
They call our Rockets, they call them Smarties, I think.
That's right. It's something weird.
Listen, write into us if you're from the States. Let us know if we're wrong.
Because they have Smarties over in England. I know that.
Oh, cool.
So the English, the British know what I'm talking about when I say Smarties. Smarties are 1,000 times better than M&M's.
Wow.
I hate regular M&Ms. I'm all about M&M peanuts.
Yeah.
Give me that little yellow packet.
But what about the mini M&Ms? Come on.
M&M mini? No.
The texture in your mouth out of those tubes?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about now. I'm a Smarties guy all the way.
All right.
So, I will pound tiny little boxes of Smarties all day long. So, Sarah and I have set out to buy only candy we don't like this year so that we don't end up with an empty bowl at the front door when the kiddos come knocking.
Smart. Justin, how about yourself? I'm interested to hear what yours.
Well, I'm definitely... So, for clarity... I like the Canadian version of Rockets, which is the string candy.
The tubes?
Not the tubes.
Are you talking the necklaces?
Yeah.
No, those aren't Rockets.
Those are not Rockets.
No, Rockets are in the tubes. They're those little discs, and they're powdery. They melt in your mouth.
They have an indent in them.
Yeah, you're talking about that hard candy stuff that you wear around your neck?
Yeah. What is that?
It's so gross when you think about it. You're sucking on it, and your neck's all wet.
First off, that's not how I would eat it. I just actually eat them right off the string. But as a Halloween candy, that's something that you would get a lot
fun.
of. Yeah,
you get a lot of. Wear this necklace, Justin, and just puts it in his mouth.
No, I would never. Yeah, exactly. I would never wear it and eat it. I actually watched a kid once do that, and I was like, why would you do it that way? Well, it's the way you're supposed to do it.
It's a necklace.
My favorite thing.
But you're covered in drool and powder, and it's like falling on down your neck. Like, seriously.
My favorite thing that my cousin David taught me with one of those necklaces is the ability to hold it in your teeth, and then you make a little triangle and you bite it, and half of it shoots off.
You launch them. Oh yeah,
launches it at your other cousins.
Yeah, that was what was fun about it.
Oh yeah, see, that was one of those ones where I'd get home on a drop off, and you'd quickly sort your candy into the stuff you like and the stuff you don't, and that stuff you don't goes on the top of your bowl that you give out to people. That's how you get rid of the junk and save the good stuff for yourself. Cool. That was one of my strategies, at least.
Excellent. Well, those are our favorite films, Halloween films, and favorite Halloween candies. Thank you so much, Jesse from Toronto, for writing in. Again, if you want to write in, Justin, where can they do that again?
We are geekcentric at gmail.com.
I stole it from you.
We are geekcentric at gmail.com.
Yeah, you can't. Okay. Well,
I'm not allowed to do that. I'm sorry.
Apparently not. So go see some of those movies. Definitely. I'm probably going to watch The Addams Family. And we'll talk about that in Watch It maybe next episode. Because I've never seen it, and that sounds perfect.
You'll have a lot of fun.
That's a great one.
One, probably just one. 1 and 2?
No, watch the 2. Yeah,
if you like better. 1 enough, definitely go and watch 2.
Awesome. 2, Kevin's right. 2 is the better one.
Well, listen, let us know. Write in if you've got some of your favorite Halloween movies, and let us know, kind of what you think there. You can always tweet us. You can message us on Instagram. You can do all those things. We hope you enjoyed this week's haunting episode. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to us wherever you can listen to podcasts. We are Geekcentric, and you can be too, which means that you can check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/geekcentric. Check out our latest Halloween funboxing video. Not really a funboxing, just it's a musical video.
That's more of a short story.
And follow us on Twitter at GeekcentricYT. That's GeekcentricYT. Follow us on Instagram at We Are Geekcentric. Justin, Kevin, thank you so much for joining me for this pumpkin spiced episode.
That's a good one.
And as we say, love ya.
Trick or treat safe.
Peace, y'all.